Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, this thing I call life. If you're new to my channel, this is just a vlog about my version of what life is right now. I am married, living in North Carolina with two boys. I am a registered nurse, almost 20 years with lots of experience, and this is me. I did a video last week and I said I was going to come back and talk about a few things. One of the things that I wanted to kind of put an opinion out there about is this whole COVID-19 situation, as well as the Black Lives Matter movement. So, there are people who are a part of this movement that are really into they have other aspects of their lives, right? So you have black men and women, as well as white and other people of color who are supporting this movement. But I am talking about just my point of view. As I mentioned, I have two boys. One is a teenager and one is 9, will be 9. So, as I mentioned, I'm also a registered nurse. So I'm dealing with two different things right now. I go to work every day. You have to keep a professional face on. I do not do direct patient care on a daily basis. I do when it's necessary, but I am in a administrative role, and so you have to be professional all the time, right? And you see things going on, you see things on Facebook, on the news. The news is on when you go to work, so you hear the headlines and you might stop and watch for a moment or so. So there's different things when you're seeing this Black Lives Matter movement that, of course, was, I think it peaked after George Floyd was murdered by a police officer, with some other police officers who stood by and did not assist. So there's a peak of that. So you have protests going on. We had a rally here where I live, and I did take my family, my boys. I needed them to see there was social distancing, but I needed them to be in the midst and see what was going on. So you have that, and you're angry as a black woman, as a black mother, and wife. You're angry. You're sad. I've shed tears. You're outraged and you're disappointed in the world, in the United States as a whole, because my children are being brought up to be respectful, productive citizens, dependent on themselves. My husband goes out to work every day, is also a professional, so he is out in the streets. At this time, because of COVID-19, he does work mostly from home, but generally he's out in the streets, in the field. But there's no shield to protect them from any of this that could happen, right? So I'm angry and I'm scared for them, to be honest. Scared for myself. I probably put myself at the bottom of that list. But black women are also out here being murdered, and they seem to get less limelight, seem to get less attention on those types of cases. But I deal with that. So I go to work, being professional, having all of those feelings inside. Then I go and I have to deal with this COVID-19 situation. So my anxiety at work is very high all day. So it's mentally exhausting, right? You go to work, and from the time you get in to the time you walk out the door, you're vigilant, and it's very mentally exhausting, which in turn takes on a physical manifestation as well. So I'm doing all these things, and I see people who want to fight and argue and throw tantrums, be disrespectful, be violent towards people who are asking them to wear a mask. And oh, you have all of the hoax theories out here, the conspiracies about the government, and this is fake, and it was done on purpose. I could care less about anybody's conspiracy. The point is, when you have something that can attack your body, that can be deadly to some, you should take precautions. So then you have people who, well, if you are in a high risk category, then you should stay home. Well, that's lovely, but everybody can't stay home. My mother is in the vicinity where I live, and I go and visit her. And I have been having her to stay home because she is in a high risk category. However, I have to go into the work field, be exposed to possible COVID every day, and I have to take precautions. So it's not me who I am directly concerned about, but it's others, like my mother, like the people who I care for every day. I try to make sure that our community stays safe, that people are using the proper PPE, that people are taking the proper precautions. We're doing testing, making sure that the people who I'm caring for, which could be anyone's mother or father, grandmother, great grandmother, I'm trying to make sure everybody in that community stays safe. So then I have to deal with people who just refuse. And this is why, in my opinion, why America is in the state that it's in right now. They didn't want to take things seriously from the beginning. And so with these two fights, and I see, the biggest thing I see is, which is conflicting to me, are African Americans who are so against wearing masks and so against this COVID-19 being a real thing. So my thought, which is probably an unpopular opinion, which is fine, is that I fight for you, and you have others who are fighting for you with your Black Lives Matter movement, which I'm so for the movement. I don't, people who have privilege, I just think I don't want you to not have privilege, but I want everyone to have privilege, to be safe in these streets, to not have to die in the hands of someone just because my skin is brown and yours is not. I'm very for the Black Lives Movement, right? I'm fine. But when you have Black people who, this is not true, you need to see what's really going on. So you are okay with other people fighting for you and your stance and for your life, but when others are asking for you to protect the lives of others, you're not for it. I'm really conflicted with that. I don't care what color you are, because as a healthcare provider, I do take care of everyone. I have taken care of people who definitely have disrespected me because of my skin color. I get over that part because truly in my heart, I'm still caring for people. So I don't understand what the problem is. You know, you can't have it both ways. You want somebody to fight for you, but you're not willing to fight for someone else. You know, though you may think it's not the same thing, it truly is. It's all about empathy, understanding, looking at the other person, putting someone else before yourself. Now, I know in America, people are not about that life. You know, you have those who do on a regular basis, so those who have chosen professions for service, like nursing or healthcare in general, like teachers, police, firemen, EMS. You have these providers who, that is what they do on a daily basis. But then outside of that, you don't have that too often. Even those who are inside of those service lives, they still are selfish at times, including myself. But this I just don't understand. So now it's going to be back to school shortly, right? It's the middle of July. We'll be looking at, depending on where you live, states are starting first or second week in August. Now it's time for students to go back to school. Now you want everybody, those who have had their kids at home since the middle of March because school shut down, you had to do everything virtually. Now you have parents who like, y'all need to come get these kids. These kids have got on my last nerve. I can't do this anymore. March through May or June was horrendous. A bunch of screaming, a bunch of drinking, a bunch of crying, a bunch of pleading, and I don't want it anymore. I'm going to need you to take my kid back to school. You want that. I hear that. You saying I need to go back to work. I can't stay home with my kid. I got that too. However, society had not been doing what they needed to do to prevent COVID from lasting as long as it did in the United States at a rate that it is right now. I mean, the numbers are not going down. I don't know. I guess people thought, oh, it's summertime. I'm over it. So, I'll do what I want. That's not how viruses, that's not how, illness works. So just because you're tired of it, that has nothing to do with anything. So now we're ready for school, and school even here. I know in North Carolina last week, people were waiting for the governor to make an announcement. Made the announcement, but still with the caveat of we'll see as we get closer to the start of school. So school is mandated to start in North Carolina by every county, every school district by August 17th. So he's saying closer to that time, we'll make, if there's a need for a change, we'll make a change. But he's left it up to the school districts to determine how you're going to start school. And in my local area, teachers started a petition on everybody needs to go to school because I need to go to school. Parents need to send their kids to school. So there's a whole lot going on. People are going back and forth with each other about virtual 100% or 50% time in school versus remote learning. And I'm looking at all of this and I'm like, yeah, initially might be mad, but don't get mad at the teachers because they don't want to go to school with your kids. They don't want to put themselves at risk for contracting this virus, taking it home to their family, and you never know what their family situation is. Don't get mad at the teachers because they want to protect themselves. I'm sure they love your kids, but they still have to care for their families, and that's the way it's been. People have always been putting everybody else first, and now that you're trying to take care of yourself, it's a problem. So don't fuss because and myself included, I don't want to send my kid to school, and I would vote to have it 100% virtual. Knowing what I know as a healthcare provider, I don't want my kids there at all until this is better under control. I have family members who are teachers on different levels, and I don't want them in the classroom either. And just because your kid is at school 50% of the time, that teacher is still there 100% of the time working with the other group of students. No, that's not healthy and that's not safe. To me, all of this, and people are fighting and arguing and carrying on back and forth on social media, in real life, everything. The bottom line is the government could and should have done better. This could have all been prevented had things been done correctly and things been taken seriously the first time around. Now, another unpopular opinion, this is just me talking. America as a whole has too much freedom. People think every little thing is an oppression. Other countries, they shut down. There was no arguing back and forth with the government. I don't want to do. They shut it down. Now, granted, the government also of those other countries also took care of their residents in a much better way than we have. I mean, they took away mortgage payments. They also sent stipends, monthly stipends. They sent care packages to homes to care for everyone in your home. I mean, there were definitely other things that took place. But America and where we are, we could do better than what we're doing. And so we're sitting here and the country right now is just in a tailspin right now. There's not a lot that is organized and under control. You still, because of COVID, you still you're seeing this firsthand, but on the backside, you still are having protests on a daily basis. You have police, because of these protests, police are taking people off the streets. Apparently, I have to read more into it, but there have been grabbing protesters off the streets and they're disappearing. Like, that's crazy. Like, who does that? You talk about your freedom to not wear a mask. You have a freedom to protest, yes, but it's not just what you want to protest about. If Black Lives Matter is a protest that's going on, then that's what's going on. If not wearing a mask is what's going on, sex trafficking protesting going on, misogynistic protests going on, you have all of these things that people are protesting about. Black Lives Matter should not take the back burner and have to disassemble because you don't want to hear about it anymore. So it's just a lot going on, and all of this goes on in my mind. I think about these things every day. I'm going to work every day. I have not had any type of break, any type of vacation. I wanted vacation badly, but me and my germophobic self, where the hell am I gonna go? I have nowhere to go. But that's okay. I can handle it. I may very well have to take a vacation at home sooner or later, but this is what I've been dealing with. This is my life, my stress levels, this whole thing, these combination of conflicts, causes a lot of anxiety and stress, which I'm sure, as I mentioned, manifests itself physically as well. I'm trying to do the best I can while taking care of my family. The kids are at home. They've been home since March, so now it's summertime and we're not doing what we usually do, so I'm trying to make the best out of it and try to give them different opportunities and try to do little things. It's hard right now, and I know it's hard for everybody to keep their children entertained, keep themselves entertained, keep themselves sane with a house full of people all summer, every day. I trust me, I believe that that's difficult, but this is what's going on. So I just wanted to stop and do this video. If you like the video, feel free to share, subscribe to my channel, this thing I call life, and I'll see you next time. Bye.